Absolutely amazing looking fish. Welcome back to Garage Outdoors on Garage Matters. Today we are trying out the Cedar Creek. This is a really tiny creek out here in West Texas. Let me show you how to get to it. This is the walking trail. So there's actually a park here. But I just walked down this trail. I was fishing the other day. I drove over this creek and I looked it up on Google Maps, but over there you can kind of see there's a power plant over here. I just came down walking along this trail right here. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but I heard some water running down here. So let's go ahead and take a walk down here and see what all this ruckus is going on down here. So I did bring my some worms, my little ultralight setup, my 5/6 trout rod. Go down this beaten path down here and see what kind of water we are dealing with down here. All right, so it looks like it opens up to a pretty nice spot down here. And so it looks like there's a little dam right here. Then up there, I don't think they make electricity. This dam doesn't make electricity, but it is dammed up. Let me set my stuff down and give you guys a tour real quick. But up here, we're gonna be fishing up here if we don't catch anything downstream of this dam right here. But this dam is probably about a 10-foot dam. So we know everything above this dam right here, it's gonna be about 10 feet deep up on top. So it should be pretty deep up there. But as far as fishing down here, it doesn't look like there's gonna be anything down here. I think I might tie a worm on and just toss it in this little pool right here. We'll do that real quick. And then if nothing hits right here, we'll just kind of work our way down here. I did look down here earlier and it looks like there's a pool. The only bad thing about fishing this stretch of water right here is that the water is really brown. So let's go ahead and get rigged up and toss a worm right into this pool right here. All right guys, I'm rinsed my hands after rigging on this worm, and I noticed that this water down in here, it's probably about 72 degrees, so it's kind of warm. But the conditions this morning, it is kind of windy, slight overcast, and about 82 degrees right now. So it is really cool out here for being out here in West Texas. But here's what I'm using. I got my worm on my line right here, and what I'm gonna do is just toss it right into these pools right here, weightless, and hopefully, I highly doubt there's a trout in here, but we'll see whatever fish we can pull out of here. Who knows, there might be a giant bass just hanging out in here. And this water is so dirty, I'm just gonna have to keep flipping this worm all over the place just to try to cover as much water as I can, because I highly doubt that these fish are going to be able to see this worm in this dirty, murky water. So there could be a fish in here, but we just gotta get it right in front of their faces because this water is super dirty. Oh gosh, look. Oh my gosh. I don't know if y'all saw that or not, but I pulled this guy out here. All right, guys. It's the first fish of the day. Y'all can see where I'm fishing. I'm fishing right down in this little creek right here. And this is one of the fishes that I pulled out of here. So that's what this fish looks like. And this fish is a really beautiful fish, but let me bring it in a little bit closer. But take a look at the tail. His tail is halfway missing right here, but this is what this guy looks like. What a beautiful fish. And let me put it in the palm of my hand, and then we'll get a good release on this guy. All right, so we got a fish right here. But before we do the release, I want to explain how I caught this fish. So I caught this fish right over here, right where the slower part of the water is moving right here. So I know it's slower over here. You can see the current just kind of drifting here. The slower area is usually where the fish are going to hang out at. But there's also another slower area in between this one and this one right here. So right in the middle right here, that little slow area, that's where the fish are usually going to hang out when you're fishing bodies of water similar to this. So, and just take a look at the water. This water is really dirty, muddy. So you're gonna have to continue, probably do multiple casts when you're fishing dirtier bodies of water like this. That way you can get that bait as close as you can to whatever fish that are in here, so they can see it and they can hit your lures. So let's go ahead and get the release on this guy. Let's do a little close-up of this guy. Here is a close-up, and he is actually, he's a pretty nice fish, some kind of sunfish, but we'll go ahead and get the release on him. All right, so I'm gonna put this guy right in here and try to do it as cinematic as possible. So let me do this. All right, so dirty you can't even see it swim off, but there she goes. We'll go ahead and get re-rigged, try this spot again, and see if we can pull another one out. All right guys, we're re-rigged. I'm gonna go right back in here, see if we can pull out another fish. Well, I had a real tiny one. Can't believe that, guys. A real tiny one. And what I'm doing, I'm just letting the worm kind of float downstream. And then just bringing it back up to the top right here. Oh, I think I got one. Oh my gosh, that was a big one. Can't believe it. That was a big one, guys. There is definitely fish in here. Let me get re-rigged up. That one's so big, I couldn't even pull it out of the water. There's big fish in here. Oh, we got a nice one. All right, we got him, guys. Here is our second fish of the day. This is a really beautiful, I think it's a red-breasted sunfish, but look how beautiful this fish is. Look at those colors on this fish. Isn't this fish amazing? It's absolutely gorgeous. Let me bring the camera in closer, put it in the palm of my hand, and get a better video of it for you guys, and then we'll get the release on him. Here is this fish in the palm of my hand. Look at that. That's absolutely gorgeous. Let's go ahead and get the release on this guy. All right, I'm gonna let you go right here again. Try to do it as cinematic as possible. All right, dude. All right, and she's off again. So that's our second fish out of this pool right here. And there's a lot of them in here. Let me try this farther pool over here. Maybe there's a bigger one hanging out over here. So I'm gonna get re-rigged and toss it out just a little bit farther this time. Oh, got another one, guys. Got another one. All right, guys, we're gonna get the release on this guy. He's similar to the other ones we're catching, so we're gonna go ahead and get a release on this guy. All right, off she goes. All right, so let's go ahead and get re-rigged and try to catch something different or a bigger one. Ooh, that was quick. Take a look at this guy. This is a tiny one. Tiny little orange fish right here. Isn't that beautiful? Let's go ahead and get a release on him. Alright, we got another one, guys. I'm gonna get the release on this guy, and then I'll probably go try a different spot so we can catch a different fish. This looks like the same species but a different fish, so we'll try a different spot and see if we can pull out a different kind of fish this time. Alright, there she goes. Alright, guys, before we change spots, let me give you guys a quick recap. So down in here, this pool right here, I pulled out maybe about 5 fish out of this pool right here. I didn't catch anything over here, but I'm gonna try to see if I can make my way back to this little pool back over there, and I'm gonna try to fish that pool. That pool looks a little bit slower and it might hold just a bigger fish back in there, so we'll try to see if we can go down here somewhere and find an opening and then fish that little spot. Alright, so it's time to leave this area, and look at this place. This place ain't the cleanest and alright, I guess we're gonna have to probably just crawl right through here. Alright. Alright, here we go. And alright, guys, check this out. Look at this. The size of this freshwater clam or mussel, or a freshwater clam. It's a big, huge. You tell me there's clams in this little creek right here? I'll believe it when I see it, but here's where we're going to be fishing, right in this pool right here. And then I guess we'll come down here, probably come down here. This looks pretty good right here. Got some water movement right here. And then probably back over there, that undercut. We're going to try that undercut as well. And then we look down here, there is a pool back behind there, so we'll try this spot up here first, and then we'll keep moving downstream. Oh my gosh, look at this, guys. there was a catfish in there. Unbelievable. I ain't making it up. You can see my hook right there. A catfish. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the release on this guy, but I can't believe there was a catfish just hanging out in there. All right, let me get a good picture for you guys. Check that out. That is maybe a 6 to 7 inch catfish. And this catfish, you can kind of see on the side of the belly right there. There's a lot of scrapes, bruises, and little bumps on it. So when it comes to eating this fish out of this little creek, I highly recommend not eating any fish, but it's all right. Today all we're doing is just catch and release. So let's go ahead and get the release on this amazing catfish. All right, get this camera around. So here, caught this catfish right out of here. So we're gonna go ahead and just put it back in here. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable, guys. Look how green this catfish is. All right, it's time to let you go. Oh my goodness, all right, go on, get out of here. No, you wanna come back on land? Now let me toss you out there. All right, you're going the wrong way, dude. The wrong way. Let me help you out. I'm gonna help this guy out. He wants to stay on land. Not a walking catfish. There you go. So, in this pool right here, it looks like it's slow enough for a catfish. I'm gonna try this pool one more time. And if I don't get something else out of here, I'll just move on down to this other pool. Alright, so again, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of casting my bait upstream and then just letting it float naturally with the current downstream, and then I'm just looking at my line. Once I notice that my line's not floating downstream anymore, I know that there's probably a fish on there, and I'm just gonna kind of keep it tight. Oh, there's something. Oh my gosh, there was something on there. There was something on there, but he got me rocked up. Let's fix this bait and toss it back in there. So there are plenty of rocks in here, so that's why I am fishing weightless in this body of water. So let's try it again. All right, we got something different. No, we didn't get something different. This is a similar species to what we were catching earlier. Look at that, right in the palm of my hand. And just goes to show you guys how small these fish are. And look at the size of the hook. I'm just barely using a hook, a really small hook. So we'll go ahead and get this guy released and try to pull out a bigger one. I feel like there might be a bigger one in here, so let's go ahead and try it one more time inside this pool, then we'll move downstream, see if we could catch a bigger one. Alright guys, it's time to try this other one over here. We're gonna try this other one now. I'm gonna try right behind this little eddy right here. It's a little bit slower right here. There's a lot of rocks in here, so I'm just trying to hold my bait just right above the rocks that are underneath here. I'm not really sure how deep it is here, but oh, I think there's a bite. I think I have a bite. Oh, I had a bite. So the fish are in here. They're not deep at all. Oh, he got one. Oh no, he got away. Got away. Alright. Let's see if we can pull one out. Oh, all right, all right. Take a look at that, guys. This is another beautiful fish. All right, so these fish they look pretty clean. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's go ahead and get the release on this guy. Oh, had a bite. There's fish in there, guys. There are fish in there, but I just saw something. Oh my gosh, where'd he go? I just saw something. Let me try zoom in, guys. There's a snake on the opposite end of the bank. You guys see that snake over there? All right. Oh man, I don't know what kind of snake it is, but it is moving. And the camera doesn't do any justice, but this snake is probably about, all right, it's gone now, but it is probably about 2.5 feet long. So you always want to be eyes open when you're fishing these kind of areas around here. So I think I need to invest in just a good pair of boots, because all I'm wearing is just sneakers right here. So I think I'll invest in a good pair of boots. All right, let's get back to fishing. I keep getting bites in there. I think there might be a big one in here, so let's see if we could pull out a big one. I'm gonna use a big worm this time. Big worm for a big fish, right guys? But we'll see. Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes you catch the biggest fish with the smallest bait. I've seen that too. So we'll see what happens when we toss this worm in here. Oh, something's on there. Oh yeah, oh my gosh, it's running, What we got? All right guys, look. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but I did catch this guy. This is a pretty nice guy. I'm gonna toss him in my bucket for now. And then I'll try to get an awesome release with this guy. Take a look at that. Not as colorful as the other fish, but most of these fish, the tail right here, orange with white tips, so absolutely stunning as well. Oh my gosh, did y'all see that? I just dropped it and there's a fish that jumps right here. Oh my gosh, these fish they're pretty hungry. I'm just gonna drop it right here. There's a fish right here. Got him. Oh my gosh, guys, take a look at this guy. I just caught this guy right there. This is a crazy looking fish. I'm gonna have to bring it in closer, but guys, can you believe I just caught this fish? Look at this. This is so tiny, I can't even show you guys on camera. Look at this guy. Still got my bait in there. This is some kind of, I don't know what kind of fish this is, but if you guys know what kind of fish this is, drop it in the comments below, because I've never ever seen a fish like this. Let me put him back in here. Put him in my bucket for now, and then see if we can pull out some more fish. But that was amazing. And oh man, that just reminded me of catching cobias. Sometimes you rig a bait and you just drop it down on the side of the boat, and then there's a cobias that are just hanging out around your boat, and then they just hit it as soon as you toss it in there. But you're not even trying to fish right there. You're just trying to get your bait back in the water to get everything set up for your cast, and bam, the fish are right at your footsteps. So I'm gonna try that spot again. and see if there's another fish. I'm just gonna drop it right in here. See if we can pull another fish out of here. Oh my gosh, there we go. Oh man, look at that. Just did it again. All right, so we know there's a lot of tiny fish in there. This is another beautiful one. Look how, whoops, look how tiny this guy is. Absolutely beautiful. I love these tiny fish. These tiny fish, they are just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Oh man, pulling them out left and right. All right, here's another one. Take a look at this fish. This fish is really tiny. He's probably an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches tops, but look how beautiful he is. Let me get this guy in the sunlight so I can just show you guys how beautiful he is. Check that out. Look at those awesome colors going on. All right, let me get this guy in my release well right here and see if we could catch something different. All right guys, I think this might be the tiniest fish ever. Look at this. Check this out. This is like a minnow. Let me bring it in on camera closer. Look at this guy. This is like the size of a minnow. And you guys aren't gonna believe it. But let me bring this in closer. I'm gonna leave the hook on this guy, but check this out. Look at this guy. This is like a little shiner. Look at that. Ultralight fishing, I guess, at its finest. Let's go ahead and get him unhooked in inside of my live well. All right guys, I'm gonna try over there now. So we know there's definitely fish in here. Right along that bank over there. See if we can pull out a bigger one out there. Oh, there's something on here. Nope. All right, right in the spot, right over there, guys. Let's see if there's a huge one over there. All right, got something. Oh my gosh. Check that out, guys. It's another catfish. This one, oh man, this one's got some crazy stuff going on here. Let me show you guys. Look at this. I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but we're gonna do it this time like this. All right, so this catfish has got some weird stuff growing on it. Absolutely weird stuff growing in. Look at the lip. There's something growing on the lip, on top of his head right here. And we're just gonna go ahead and get a release on this little catfish. This catfish is about 5 to 6 inches big, but it looks so big when I bring it in close, right? But it's actually a small little catfish. But I did pull it out from this undercut over here, so we'll go ahead and get the release on this guy. And I'm gonna make sure I wash my hands really good because this guy is absolutely got some funky growth growing on it. So here you go. I'm gonna go back in there and yeah, we'll try again. I thought it was gonna be a bass, but that wasn't a bass. It was green, kind of long, like a small skinny bass, but let's see if there's any bass in here. All right guys, I'm gonna try this undercut again. I'm gonna try to get this worm right underneath that cut. Oh yeah, right there. Perfect cast, guys. Oh, my line's tight. Oh no! I can't believe he got me stuck, guys. He got me stuck. Oh no! I can't believe that. Look. Oh man, it came undone. These fish are smart. Look at that. I was stuck But I got this fish out. Look at that beautiful fish. Let's oh man, look at this. Look at the color of his fins. Orange with yellow tips. All right, let's try it again. And so like I was saying, these fish, they're pretty smart fish too. Even though they're tiny fish, they'll rock you up in here. So you still want to be pretty cautious when you're fishing in here as well too. These little fish, they're gonna rock your world. All right. I'm trying to keep my bait just barely suspended from the water. All right, we got another one. All right, this is, all right. So I'm just gonna let this guy go. I don't know if y'all can see this, but take a look. This guy's got some kind of funky growth on it right along the middle. So I'm gonna toss him back in the water. All right, I'm still on the hunt for that bigger one. Oh, I knew it. Oh my gosh, look at this guy. I knew it, guys. I threw it right back in there. Look at the size of this guy. This guy is amazing. This guy is huge. I saw it take my bait as soon as I tossed it in there. But look at these amazing colors going on. Look at that. Right back in that shadowy part. Let's put this in my release well. Let me show you guys what's going on. If my GoPro was able to capture that, I'll show you guys and I'll zoom in. But look back in here. Y'all see that dark shadowy place right behind there? That's where I threw my last cast and I saw it strike. I knew it was a big one. And this one definitely is bigger. Let's take a close up at it again. Look at how big it is compared to the rest of the fish. That big one right here. Ooh, this guy is really lively. Look at that. Oh man, look at those amazing colors going on. Like I was saying, orange with white tips. That's absolutely amazing. Look at this fish. Oh man, I love this guy. Put you back in here, and I bet you there's bigger ones back behind there too. So I'm gonna keep trying, see if I could get even a bigger one back in there, or maybe even a bass. We'll see if there's even a bass back in there. But we're gonna try it all, guys. We're gonna try it all. See if we can pull out something else besides these little panfish and catfish. All right. Sometimes the placement of your bait matters. So we're gonna place it right on top of their heads right this time and just throw it right back in there. All right. Get a good perfect cast in. This is one of the reasons why I like using these smaller short rods, because when I'm fishing in these kind of areas, I can cast right into where I need to cast in. These fish, they're kind of just hitting as soon as you drop your lure in there. So they're waiting. They're waiting. I'm trying to get my worm back underneath there. Oh, perfect cast. Perfect cast. Got no one. All right. Oh, 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 he came off. He came off. What is it? All right. All right. Oh man, look at this guy. Look at this guy. This is a darker colored one, but look at that. Nice orange and yellow tips. He's got some bumps growing on there. I'm gonna toss him back. Alright guys, I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing, but I'm fishing that undercut over there, and as soon as my bait hits the water, I'm catching a whole bunch of these guys right over there. So I definitely know there's fish over there, and it just all depends on placement. Now if you can place your bait right underneath that undercut, you catch them as soon as your lure hits the water. Let's try it again and see if we can repeat, but I'll show you guys. Alright, there you go. Another one of these guys. Alright, I feel like this is all that I'm getting out of here, so I'm gonna try one more spot and see if I can pull something else out differently. But take a look at this guy. This guy's got some funky growth growing on him. Let me bring it around so you guys can see. But look at that guy. That's a pretty good shot with the background, huh? Let me go ahead and get the release on here and throw him back in the water. Alright guys, I'm gonna let these fish go. I'm gonna try one more spot real quick and then I'm gonna call it a day. So here's my catch. Take a look at all these fish in here, and I'm gonna try to do something different when I'm releasing these fish. So I got my GoPro halfway in the water, and hopefully this is gonna come out amazing. So let's go ahead and grab some of these fish in here and then see if we can get a really good cinematic release on these guys. Alright, let's see. Oh, alright. I think my camera needs to be in the water just a little bit more. Alright, so maybe right there. Let's grab the next one and take a look at this guy again. This guy is amazing. Alright. Oh, might be a good shot right in front of the camera. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Alright. I'm gonna let this guy go now. Alright, so have a couple more in here. Alright. And we do have this guy. I'll let this guy, oh, you let yourself go. We got 3 more in here, so check out this one. This one almost looks like a crappie, but he's not. Like the shape of his body almost reminds me of a crappie. Okay, he let himself go. Let's grab the last 2 fish in here. Alright, so y'all remember, this is the smallest fish I've caught. It's one of those, he's probably like a shiner. Definitely a shiner. Look at that orange tail. And silver body. That's why they call them shiners. So let's go ahead and get a release on this guy. And then the last one, biggest fish of the day. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. Oh man. Absolutely amazing looking fish. Alright, let's go ahead and get you in the water. So All right. All right. That's gonna do it for this little pool right here. So just a quick recap. Caught all that fish out of this pool right here. We did start up here at this dam, just working these little creek eddies in these little pools right here, on down into here. And then we'll go down here. There's a bigger pool hiding back behind here. And who knows, there might be a ginormous catfish just hanging out down there. All right, guys, we're leaving this location. We're gonna go to our next location. It's actually just right over here. And that's what it looks like. So we're gonna be down here fishing this giant pool. And I'm looking all the way down there and I can see some ripples all the way down there. So I'm not gonna wade across this little pool. I'm just gonna fish this pool right here, right along this little current right here, and see if there's a giant catfish hiding back behind here. Or what would even be better is to catch a bass out of here. So let's go ahead and get rigged up and toss the bait in there. Alright, these fish are biting as soon as I hit the bait on the water. But look at that, it's got some weird stuff growing on it, so definitely don't eat these fish. Let's get this guy released and I'll probably use the same bait again. Toss it back in there. Alright, I'm gonna give this place another maybe 10 more minutes. See if I could pull something else bigger out of here. We're just pulling out little fish out of here. And kind of hopeful that there's gonna be something bigger out of here. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna call it a day. I think over here I caught maybe like 2 little small fish. But I think what might have worked better is if I had a float on here and just let it float back in over here. But with the weightless worm, it was just sinking too fast for this area right here. And this area does look pretty nice, but take a look at the clouds up here. I'm gonna get on out of here before I get rained on. And that's gonna do it this time for Garage Outdoors on Garage Matters. Join us next time on Garage Outdoors, and remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Guys, check this out. I wasn't lying when I said there's a storm coming. Look at this storm. I'm gonna hop back in the car and get on out of here before I really get caught up in the storm.